few more seconds. Everything is green. Everything looks good. Just a couple more seconds to catch up on the buffering. And we are good. The meeting is yours, Mr. Nedrow. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to call the regular council meeting for Village of Wolverine Lake to order for Wednesday, July 8th. Pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance
To the
to the
flag
flag of the United
States
States
of America
And to
and to the
to
republic
the
which
republic
it stands,
which
one nation,
Under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and justice for all.
justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Sinkwitz,
Present.
Nedrow,
Here.
Dumont, Duff,
Here.
Malik,
here.
Scott,
That was here.
Yeah, I was here. I don't know.
There he is.
There we go. Hello, I'm still here.
York,
Here.
Who's playing the hippie music?
I think that's it, right?
yep, that's it.
We did hear from Mr. Dumont, and he been recently in the hospital.
I'd like
He's
to
out
make
of the
a motion that we
hospital and-
excuse him.
That's a motion by Duff to excuse. I hear a second. Second by Mr. York. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Well, roll call, I guess. Roll call vote. Shoot. Here we go.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Dumont, Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes,
Scott,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Sinkwitz.
Yes.
Okay, before we move on to addition to business, I want to take a few minutes to mention a couple comments. As I stated at the end of last month's council meeting, the best virtual meeting that we've had was the first one. Since that meeting, some of our behavior has been less than desirable. Comments have been increasingly interruptive when members talk over other members as they are trying to get their points across. We are all passionate about what we believe in, and we all want what's best for the village and our own opinions. However, we need to be cognizant of our actions and how we address each other. This council has accomplished a lot in the last couple of years. We generally all agree with each other, but on occasion, we have a difference of opinion. We're all not going to agree on everything, and it's healthy for certain decisions to have different views. We need to be able to discuss issues without disrespecting each other. In addition, council comments at the end of the meeting should not contain issues that could be handled or directed to the administrator or the village staff. They should not involve the whole council and the rest of the public on these items if they relate to an individual or department of the village. If there is a need for such a comment or action, then the issue should be included as a regular agenda item during the regular meeting for all of us to address. During council comments, there is no discussion period for council. For future virtual meetings, if there happens to be any interruption or overspeak, that person or those persons will be muted until such time that they are called upon to speak. I've always allowed everyone ample time to voice their opinion and give them more time to do so. Virtual meeting format is more difficult to communicate, so please follow protocol. After all, in the end, we're all just residents trying to do what we think is right for our community. With that, on to additions to business. I know we do have one addition, and I believe that's an addition for the Veterans Memorial update. So I'd like to put that under pre-A, 10 pre-A. Anything else, Mr. Smith?
Yes, I sent out over two agreements that we got, the Progressive A&E contract update due to the water board, and we're seeing the LG issues to increase their lake surveys. And then the CARES Act from Oakland County, an interlocal agreement, so we can try and get reimbursement for some of the extra costs from COVID.
Okay, so I put those under business items C and D.
Perfect.
So the first one was,
It's the Progressive A&E contract amendment.
okay. You said you sent those out?
Yeah, I emailed those as
Huh.
attachments.
I didn't get them, I don't believe, but
Late
anyway.
today, I think.
It was late today because the progressive one came today. And then
Okay.
the CARES one, we realized, I actually realized as I looked at Walled Lakes Council meeting, they had a special meeting just to approve the interlocal. And I realized that we need to do that as well. So
Okay. Fair enough. Anything else?
that is all.
Okay. Approval of the agenda as amended then.
So
Do I hear a
moved.
motion by Duff? I hear a second.
I'll second it.
That was a second by Mr. Scott.
Correct.
Discussion. All in favor? Well, let's see, roll call vote again. Sorry, I'm trying to go the other route.
Dumont,
He's
Duff,
absent. Yeah.
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Sinkwitz,
Yes.
Nedrow.
Yes. Just had, as far as correspondence, all we had was there was a letter from DTE regarding some of the trimming around the power lines.
Yes.
They're gonna be coming around the village here shortly. Just want to make everybody aware. And also, we had a letter from the Michigan Lakes and Streams Association regarding, what was it?
Thanking them for membership. That's all.
Yep, okay. With that, we'll move on to call to the public. Do we have anybody that would like to speak in public?
There are no callers in the meeting at this time, Mr. Nedrow.
Okay. With that, we'll bypass the call to the public and move on to consideration for the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
That was a motion by Mr. York, was it?
Yes.
Second by Mr. Duff?
Yes, sir.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Sinkwitz,
Yes.
Nedrow.
Yes. Moving on, we have no board appointments. And I guess we'll move on to presentations pre-A, which was a Veterans Memorial update. And we've either got Ron or Kelly, I guess, whoever would
Yeah.
like to speak regarding that.
They're both on the committee, so I don't know. They'll both have to be unmuted.
Unmuting them now.
Hello?
Hi, Ron.
Hi. I'm sure if you've passed by the memorial, you'll see all the flag poles went in last week and the flags were hung on Saturday morning. So I'm pretty excited about seeing all that being done. You know, it's a really great feeling when you drive by. Regarding the electrical, I have Clarence Mills working on it with me to try to put something together. We've got a few different options, but it's taking some time because of the holiday to connect with the people from Consumers Energy and DTE. You know, we thought that there was a meter there on the berm next to the parking lot, but that meter was actually owned by Consumers Energy. It had nothing to do with the village or anything like that. So we're in the process of trying to see how we could best get our own power source, whether it be working together with Consumers Energy or having to get our own separate source. And those are being addressed, and I'm just waiting for people to get back to us to let us know the best way we can do that. I do have my contractor, our contractor for doing the paving is ready to start. He's got a week set aside in September. So I'm figuring, you know, with all the parking lot improvements and everything will be done before then. And then we can, you know, just continue to move on from there. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes. Do you expect this Ed Sinkwitz, do you expect the electrical to be an expensive endeavor?
We're not sure. It can be, or it may not be. You know, it depends on if we're able to hook off of the existing meter there, put a second meter next to the one by Consumers Energy, but we have to get permission from them to do that. Or if we have to get a separate one. And until those questions are answered, it'd be hard for me to come up with any kind of numbers to find out just where that will be. But I expect to have that all taken care of relatively shortly. You know, Clarence Mills, he knows all these different people, and Andy from the DPW also knows some of the people that are involved. So we've had meetings there. The holiday has just slowed things down, but I really expect to get some answers here within the next week.
Good, thank you.
Bob Malik here. I have a question. On the electricity that you're drawing in, is that for one light to illuminate all the flags, or?
No,
what-
we're doing where it stands right now is we have there's going to be 3 lights, one highlighting the American flag by itself, and because
Right.
the other flags are slightly shorter, we're going to have 2 separate lights, each one highlighting 3 of the flags. We're also going to need a power source because there's going to be a water feature that's going to be incorporated by the retaining wall. So we'll need a power source for that. And then probably would make sense to have, you know, some additional outlets that could be accessible, locked, of course. You know, we have to make sure that no one can just walk in and plug something in. You know, they'll all be proper security, and everything will be of the utmost. And the voltage draw, you know, I've seen quite a few different lights. So we're using high efficiency LED lamps to provide all the illumination.
Okay, now you mentioned the water. What are we putting, a well in with electricity, or what's going on?
No. It's a self-contained water feature. It's just a fountain, just an ornamental fountain that'll be featured in the memorial itself.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Does Kelly have any updates as well? I didn't know if you had anything about the bricks.
No.
Or no.
Well, I can say that we did put a, do you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, we did issue a deadline of July 31st to get all the brake orders in. So we're really hoping that we'll have quite a few more orders at that point. I think Kelly was mentioning that we've already gotten a few this month already, and
Yeah,
and
we've
What's
got 9 orders so far, and I know 4 more for sure are going in.
Kelly, what's our total?
I don't have the total on me right now, but I think we're around 100 right now.
Good.
Well, I'll tell you what, the flags were great to see on Saturday morning there. That was
oh yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
4th of July. It was
Nice
nice to
surprise.
see that.
So,
You know what was really special about raising those flags and people driving by and blowing their horns, and you know, I assume in appreciation of what's going on. So everybody's had a real positive attitude. So
great progress.
Yeah. Congratulations, Kelly.
yeah,
Thank you.
Good job.
Mark in the background somewhere there, I know.
Okay, that's it for that. We'll move along to
Thank you.
10A, which is presentations from Engineer Powell. First one is the Benzstein pathway. And moments ago, he was blazing along the tarmac at about probably 60 or 70 miles an hour. Looked like.
He was on a bus, actually, from the nature parks up in California back to his hotel.
So I'm available now.
Well, there we go.
So my picture's not there, but maybe it will be here. There we go.
There we are.
You guys delayed it long enough for me to get off the bus. So I appreciate that. I'm in Yosemite Park in California, so I appreciate Zoom. Otherwise, Michelle would have to take over for me. The progress in the village that has really taken off this last month, and I've been very pleased. The hardest one has been getting the quotes from the asphalt contractors for the Vita Trail parking lot extension. A lot has changed since we first presented that. The first contractor and all the contractor costs to be able to put that parking lot in were $10,000–$20,000 over budget, which was just way beyond what I wanted to present to council. What we decided to do is to bring it back into at least somewhat reasonability. We talked to a number of earthwork contractors. By separating the earthwork from the paving project, we actually saved $7,500 from the original bids. As you know, paving contractors aren't known to be good earthwork contractors. And so we have utilized a local contractor. You guys know him, Jeff Miller. He is going to come in and have a friend of his do some dozer work, and then Jeff is going to do the miscellaneous work to be able to prepare the parking lot for the asphalt. And in doing so, they actually dropped the entire cost of the earthwork by $7,500. So it ends up being approximately $10,000 for the asphalt, for the preparation. And that is widening the parking lot, putting the culvert in, widening the entrance, and putting the gravel down for the paving contractor then to come in and pave. That is certainly my recommendation. That is much lower than the other cost. Where my concern has been, the asphalt contractors, H.G. Sarter is the lowest price at $7,500 to pave the asphalt. The next price is, I wondered, Michael, if you could check on that price for H.G. Sarter for just the paving.
You listed Sarter paving as a quote price of $15,000 for the paving.
Yes, thank you. I thought I was quoting a little bit low there. So the asphalt for H.D. Sarter, I think he included some additional work in that, is $15,000. That's substantially higher than what I had originally estimated. And I estimated high based upon last year's asphalt. I talked to him. He said their rates have actually gone up this year. I got a price from Nagel Contracting. Their price is $17,500 just for the asphalt. And then the ASI, who has been a pretty good contractor for the village, their price came in at $19,000 for just the asphalt, not even including the prep work. So we have a couple options. We could certainly do the prep work, and I'm highly recommending that we do the prep work so everything can be prepped for the memorial work. Then H.G. Sarter would be the next low bid for the addition, for the lowest bid for the asphalt. So if council desired, we could accept H.G. Sarter's bid. The alternative would be this next month, I expect to ask the contractors to bid on the larger paving work in the village, and that's the repair of some roadways, especially Wolverine Drive. We might be able to see a lower cost if they're already mobilized to do additional asphalt work in the village. So we could wait for a month to be able to see if we could get a lower price for that. I don't think that'll hurt timing wise because they can't really do the paving until August anyway. But council could authorize HD Sarter and then allow administration to negotiate with HD Sarter to get their price lower if they're mobilized to do additional work in the village already. So I guess I'm here to address any questions of council and get some advice from council on this.
Okay, first off, Mike, what's going, as far as the Benstein pathway, are we gonna be looking at possibly putting that in this fall?
Yes, so we can go to the Benstein pathway now.
Well, I'm just saying we could lump all three of those together and
Yeah.
hopefully get a decent project.
That would, HG Sarter is the low bidder for the pathway.
Okay,
And he has already included that, but it was going to be a separate mobilization. The difference is that the Benstein pathway, he actually has to rent a smaller paver to be able to do the pathway because it's only 6 feet wide in all the areas outside of the Clara Miller Parkway. If you recall, the road commission had a restriction and not allowing us to pave within so many feet of the existing roadway.
all right.
And that additional 2 feet for an 8-foot pathway was too much for them to allow. So it's a 6-foot pathway north of Clara Miller Park, which requires a special paver, a smaller paver.
Okay,
Mr. President,
yeah, go ahead, Ed.
Mike, you've dealt with these guys a lot. And I know asphalt's being manufactured from sunup to sundown. And I just wonder if HD Starter has typically been our go-to guy for the low bid. I would like to throw the whole thing in a bundle to them and then remind them that we're giving you all this work, not all at the same time, and we expect some consideration back and go from there. Because I'm afraid if construction keeps going like it is, and some of this information I'm getting from my son, that they're going to be asphalt paving till snow flies.
Yep.
So
I'm going to
notice with this shortage of people on the road, look how much has been done just around the Wolverine Lake Village.
I'm going to agree with Councilman Sinkowitz only in that HG Sarter has been a very good go-to guy for the smaller projects.
Yeah.
He has not been able to compete on the larger projects, but on the smaller projects, he has really come through for the village. I honestly believe that we can get him to sweeten his bid even lower than what he has bidded at already.
Michael, Scott here.
Yeah.
Including the conversation was to see if any of the major minor road contracting that you're about ready to release could be included, correct? If they could include this work. What, do you have any idea what percentage wise there might be a difference? Is it worth waiting for that? I'm not saying we go ahead because it doesn't sound like we're going to do anything till August anyways, but
here's the and absolutely here's the issue. However, the major minor road repairs specifically on Wolverine Drive is quite a bit more work. Not convinced that HG Sarter would be low bid on that particular job.
correct.
And so I hate to speculate that we can entice HG Sarter to lower his price, assuming he's going to get that work, because I just am not sure that he'll get that work. It's fairly intense work, and he may not get it as low bidder.
Actually, my question was a reverse. Do you think going to the major minor road repair contract, they are willing to do that pavement at some different price compared to HG Sarter and et cetera?
Well, as and you know what, John, my crystal ball's not really clear, but I believe we have time. I believe that the Memorial Committee is going to have the parking lot completed by the 1st of September. I think we have time, if council would like, to allow administration and myself to negotiate now with these contractors on all the asphalt paving, except of course for the Benstein pathway. That one is a specialty issue. And then we could bring it back before council next meeting for the actual paving.
I think that sounds
Yeah,
prudent.
I think that's good.
Is Ron still on, by the way? Ron, I know you and Mike have met over this issue. Are you still in communication about the grade and fill and et cetera? Is that going to come out of some of the grading of the road?
No, I mean, we've talked about it, you know, until the, you know, I even talked with him, I think it was yesterday, or I can't remember when we just had our last conversation, because, you know, there's a certain amount of fall between the Memorial and the existing parking lot. So realistically, you know, we could absorb some of that into the parking lot. So not as much soil is going to have to be removed. As you can see, when you look at the flags were elevated to anticipate that we're going to be, you know, like 12, 14 inches higher in that area to maintain a good grade. So I really feel confident that we're not going to have to haul any material out of there, that we're going to be able to use it all, whether we have to extend the berm a little bit farther, you know, do some other things, you know, and like I said, I think I figured 8 or 10 inches of pitch from the existing parking lot to where the Memorial is. And then we're up another 8 to 10 inches above that. So that would allow us to be able to, you know, use up a lot of that soil. And, you know, for myself, I was really hoping that I'd be able to contact my contractor and bring them in a little bit earlier, but I guess that's out of the question. If we have to wait on another month for the paving.
Okay. I'm not sure where Mike is moving to, but maybe he can't hear it.
No, I could hear, and where I was standing was a group of motorcycles about ready to start their motorcycles up, and that wouldn't have been pretty.
Well, were you going to join them?
I'm tempted. Ron is absolutely correct. We have been coordinating the elevations of the paving and the amount of earthwork and the timing of the paving and the coordination of the paving of the Memorial and the parking lot. And so I'm very confident that if we allow the earthwork to be prepped and the pavement to be prepped, we can have the parking lot paved before any final work gets done on the Memorial.
Now, are you concerned if the paving is done and the base is put in, are you concerned that the base material can be polluted if a lot of soil gets drained into that or so on, or is there going to be a safety hazard of making such a big time difference between the two? Or
No. I am not at all concerned about spoiling the base material for the asphalt. We can keep it very clean. People are coming off of the asphalt onto the aggregate base. I'm not at all concerned about that, Ron.
okay.
Well, why don't we just have Mike Powell and our administrator and the rest of you guys all get together and see what you can wheel and deal to save the village some money on the paving.
Yeah. I think we got consensus on that, so I think you've got that direction of which way to go with the paving issues there.
Yes, I think so.
Do something next month.
Great.
Can I just make sure that we have authority to have Mr. Miller, JJ&M, and his subcontractor do the earthwork?
I would make that motion.
I'll second that.
Motion by Sinkwitz, second by Duff. Any discussion? I agree. Sounds good to me. So, roll call vote, please.
Malik,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Tankwitz,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff.
Yes.
Okay. What's the next one up, Mike?
Well, I think I already talked about the Benstein pathway.
Yep.
Yep.
Very pleased, and just to remind council, we pulled off, and it's a good thing we did, we pulled off the area that is in front of the Dairy Twist. So we're going to be bringing people to the entrance of the Dairy Twist and then stopping the pathway there. If you recall, if we extended it to the intersection, the road commission was going to require us to cross Glengarry Road, which wasn't a huge issue, until they said if we cross Glengarry Road, we got to put the $30,000 signalization into that new light that's going up there. And it just ballooned the entire cost of the project up. So we pulled it back and stopped it there at the entrance to the Dairy Twist.
It makes
So,
sense to me.
Yeah, by this time next month, I expect you'll see a pathway there.
Great. Boy, has that been a long time coming.
Yep.
Long time.
Very good. I
The
guess
next
that,
item is the Greenaway drain. Very pleased to report. Oh my gosh, I'm going to step around the corner here. Those motorcycles decided to start up.
Actually, Mr. President, I think, Mike, you missed number 2 Clara Miller bathroom update.
yeah, we'll get back to him. We'll get
Yeah.
back to him on that.
We can get back to that one. So the Greenaway drain, boy, you know how hard we've been trying to get that permit from the DEQ, now Eagle. And here they come.
Yeah, just don't get hit.
Mike, are you mad because you don't have a bike there?
There we go. We do finally have approval. I tried to make it 6 feet deep. The Eagle felt that was going to make it too deep and extend it into the surrounding area too far. And so I asked the DEQ or the Eagle that if we made it only 3 feet deep, would they accept that? And they did. So we have approval, and just as soon as it comes in the mail, I expected it. I wanted to show it to you, council. But as soon as we get it in the mail, we can give it to the contractor to start work on that project.
Great. And then we had the Clara Miller Park bathroom update.
Yes. The drawings that were provided us were fairly just cursory or just anyway, bottom line is
I'm not an engineer.
So what we're doing is we're going out and surveying the ground, and we are taking measurements of the precise width of walls and making sure that everything fits. I can represent the council that it will be ready for building permits in 2 weeks. I believe at that time, the committee can go out and get contractors to bid on it. Maybe we can even have those bids back for your council meeting next month.
That'd be awesome.
Great.
Yes, that'd be
Long
great.
time coming in terms of improvement of that bathroom.
Yes.
From 1 month after it was built.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, any update on the McCoy algae pond?
Michael, do you want to take that one?
I'm still working with the homeowner there, and we're still in that phase where she's refinancing her house. So we're still in constant communication. We have great communication going on. With all
Okay,
of that right now. So until
So-
that can proceed, we have all the exhibits we provided to her so she could provide to her bank. And then from there, we'll have information forthcoming probably in August.
okay. Fair enough. Thank you, Mr. Powell, for taking time out of your vacation.
Yeah, thank you.
Council, I
Thank you, sir.
appreciate your patience.
Have a safe trip back, Mike.
Thank you, guys, and I'll be back next week.
Okay,
All right,
Thank
bye.
you.
thanks much. Okay. Moving on, we have no public hearings, new business. A, recommendation to approve purchase of the 6 new Welcome to the Village ground signs from Sign Graphics in the amount of $96.65.
So moved. Long overdue.
Second.
Motion by Duff, second by York. Discussion.
Yeah, I have questions, Bob Malik.
Go ahead,
Did we
Bob.
put this out for bid, or I only see the proposal from the people that we want to hire?
We did it to match the one because that's the one that we've been dealing with. I mean, again, if the discussion is to go forth with others, but this is the one that has come in at the bid that and the quality that we've always had that matches their other sign.
So Bob,
So in other words, they have a lock on our business.
somewhat in terms of we did put that out for bid when we replaced those 2 other signs. And again, they were the ones that came back with a like sign. I don't know if you were on council at that point in time, but again, they were the ones that
I'm
came back
familiar with it.
like
Well,
sign.
the other thing is too, they were reasonably priced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went last.
My only question is, we're looking at spending $10,000. And I'd rather be able to sit here open-mindedly and say somebody else couldn't do it, their price was out of line, whatever the
I
case.
think they might have muted me.
And that's all I question, so.
Okay.
I have a question. I'm assuming there'll be one-sided signs.
Yes, but they're going to look exactly like the Oak Island one and the Amenia. So everything will be consistent signage throughout the village.
Yeah, the blue and white, but
Yep.
I didn't know if they were gonna be put on a corner so that like by the Dairy Queen, you could see it from both directions, both two-sided.
Gotcha. Yeah, a couple of those locations are kind of, that's why I forgot about the Dairy Twist one. Because when you drive by, you don't realize that it's right there in the corner.
That's why I was thinking that maybe a couple of them might, it doesn't matter to me. Most people know what Wolverine Lake Village is, but it might be advantageous instead of having just the back of the sign blue, you might have a two-sided sign. So either on Benstein or Glengarry, you can read the sign.
Understood.
But
I
do whatever.
personally, I think it's fine having it
Yeah.
placed as long as it's going to be placed approximately where
Yeah.
replacing the other ones.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And you can actually see it from all 3 directions that way.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that if you turn it the other way, Ed, you might not see it as much. I mean, it might not be quite as visible.
Well, like the one that's over there by the smokehouse.
Yeah. Yep.
That sign was two-sided, you're leaving, I don't care about the signs. I just brought that up, that food for thought, if that at 1 or 2 locations that a two-sided sign would make sense. You already got the sign. It's just got to be printed on both sides.
Right.
I don't care what you do on that. It's immaterial.
Hey, Ed, I'm sure that's something that could be added extra later on.
Fine.
Sounds good.
Michael, if I can ask a question, I didn't see it on the quote, are these reflective signs or non-reflective? The one on Oak Island is reflective.
Well, I guess you'd have to go to whatever the sign, I guess Ellsworth can state what type of signs those are required to be, since they're, I don't know the requirements for that.
Well, I think we went reflective on the island only because there wasn't much of a cost, if I remember when Sharon did it. And secondly, that sign is lit with solar lights, and it really does stand out because of the reflection of the sign itself. Whether it is done or is not done, I would think it might be interesting just to see what the cost differential is. It seemed to me it's just a coating they put on the sign, but again, just comment among the other comments to think about.
Okay. We would definitely light them up too with the solar lights, like we were.
Right, yeah, and when you go on the island, it makes a big difference. Those solar lights just It illuminates them like any road sign does.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, do we want to try to bump that number up a little bit? Give some latitude?
Let's go another $1,000.
To be more than adequate.
More than adequate, though. Mark, thank you.
And not to
So,
exceed a
not-
10,665 then, right?
Yeah. Friendly? Ed, do you agree?
To what? Bump up a couple bucks?
Yeah, up
just to
1,000.
cover the cost, in case we go that route.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're putting them up, you know, we might as well do it right. I mean, if it's
Exactly.
1,000, 2,000, they're gonna be there for quite a while.
Yep.
Yeah, those
Why
were
don't
there
we-
for an awful long time.
Bob Malik here. Why
Yeah,
don't
go
we
ahead,
just bump it to 11,000 and a round number if it comes
Not
in
to
under?
exceed 11,000.
Well, friendly on that one too.
Okay.
Ed, you second that one?
I will do that.
All right. Point of
Okay.
order, let's vote.
Roll call vote. That was a motion by Duff, second by, was it Scott originally?
Tinkwitz.
No,
Tinkwitz,
so
okay.
it's-
Scott,
Yes,
York,
Yes.
Tankwitz,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik.
Yes,
Okay, item B, set topics for the July 22nd work session.
I won't be here,
You won't be here? Okay.
so I would like to make a motion that we don't have anything.
Well, do we have anything else to do as far as Mr. Smith goes? I mean,
Not
Feel we-
for council, negotiating other committees, yes, but not
Yeah.
for council.
yeah.
I'll second your motion, Ed.
Okay, that'd be a motion by Sankowitz, second by Duff to cancel the July 22nd work session. Roll call
Yay.
vote, please.
I don't know if Hannah heard you.
Roll call vote, please.
He's on mute.
Ah,
Oh, there she goes.
York,
Yes.
Tankwitz,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
yes.
Scott.
yes.
Okay,
What?
it's canceled.
Mr. President, one question. Michael, do we have any idea what's going to happen with the negotiations with the union? Do we have a date or anything coming up?
Nothing yet. I hope to have it clarified tomorrow.
Okay, let me know right away because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be going to Alaska to fish for a week.
Okay.
You should have went there this week. It was warm.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah, my
Okay,
son-
moving on. Item C was the contract from Progressive A&E.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mike.
So this was to, where did I put it? I believe John probably could talk about it too. It's just basically adding an additional $1,000 because of Water Board wanted to add more surveys, and especially due to algae issues right now. That from the original contract, it's going to increase by $1,000, and so we need formal request to amend their contract
That would be for this year only, right, Michael?
just for 2020. This
And according to everything the board knows, that it will still be within budget, given the forecast that was made where we are and going forward. And I think that was agreed to, just so the council knows, we should still be within budget with that addition. But we do need to have a more proactive series of actions in the canals. We're having some algae that has never been seen come into the canals, but we want to get after it quickly.
Okay, so I guess do we need a motion
Yeah,
to,
John, a question, please.
say again?
Has I know, I've talked with Mark about this. Do you think because the canal doesn't get a lot of movement, that using that old well there and all that plumbing and piping work we did, that when we need to augment the lake level, that to use that to get that water moving in the canal? Has that ever been discussed in depth of maybe being a benefit?
Unfortunately, Ed, unfortunately, that well is down. That went down 2 years ago, and my understanding is it has not been repaired yet.
Oh, well, that explains that.
Yep.
Well, I can add just a little quick note too, Ed. The board did discuss that. We looked back 6 or 7 years ago and remember about discussing using injector aerators, something similar to what they use in the various water cleanup plants, such as in Commerce, so that when you throw water through a pipe, you have an orifice that comes above water that pulls air into it. There was some comments by our limnologist that he didn't think the DNR would allow that, only because even if the pump did work, Mark, it would cause too much destruction in the silt beds. So it has been thought about, it has been looked into by the board, but
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
So I guess, do we need a motion then to update the Progressive A&E contract then, Mr. Smith?
Yes, and then to authorize either you or myself to sign the amendment.
Make the
Okay.
motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Duff, second by York. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Nedrow,
Yes,
Dumont,
Dumont's not here.
Duff, yeah, sorry, Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes,
York,
Yes.
Sinkwitz.
Yeah,
Hey, thank you. Moving on to the last item for new business, is the CARES Act, and I know Jennifer, you probably had a couple things you wanted to say regarding that.
Yes, well, I didn't know this was on the agenda, so I don't have what's in or what was given to you. I assume it's the form interlocal agreement from Oakland County.
Yes,
So you actually need a resolution as well.
yes.
You need a resolution authorizing execution of the interlocal agreement and
Okay.
Directing the village council president to execute that interlocal agreement. So I can give you the language that I will put in a resolution that you can execute after this meeting for a motion. But the interlocal agreement itself has to be tailored to your community, and then you need a supporting resolution to go with it.
Okay. So does it
Okay.
have to be for August then? Is that what you're stating?
No, I mean, you could do it this evening. I'll just, you would just,
We'll just approve the resolution.
yeah, approve the resolution. Hannah, are you listening?
Yes.
This is going to be someone's motion.
I
To
make that
approve-
motion.
To approve the resolution adopting the agreement for CARES Act distribution between Oakland County and the Village of Wolverine Lake, and directing the village council president to execute the agreement on behalf of the village. And I can give you that language too.
I'll second that.
Okay, it was motion by Malik, second by Duff. Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote on that, please.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
Scott,
yes,
York,
Yes.
Sinkwitz,
yes,
Nedrow.
Yes,
So Mike Smith,
Yes.
I'll send you a resolution tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'll tailor that interlocal agreement for you guys and send it over to you. And then because they just approved that in a resolution form, you can just execute that.
Perfect. Thank you.
anything else to add on that, Mike?
No, all that we're just hoping that like with the extra cleaning that we've done and some of the signage and just some of those things that we can try and get reimbursement, we figure it's worth a shot and
Sure,
why we're doing it.
yep, makes sense to me. Okay, I don't believe we have any pending business. So update from Chief Ellsworth.
Good evening. First of all, Tiki Night was a very nice, successful, hot night. Not many problems at all. There was a great bike parade at the Spring Lake Heights Association down by Mr. Malik's house. Many kids took part, probably close to 40 kids. So it was really good. The other one we usually do over at Penny Lake was canceled this year. I don't know if it was lack of participation or what it was, but we usually do that one on the 4th, and that did not take place. Officers have been very busy on the lake. Officer Grunwald has adjusted his hours a bit, been out during the week, surprised many people. And it's been, as Mr. Nedrow knows, he's really earning his money this year. It's been very tough out there. This year, we have wrote we've wrote about 45 tickets so far, which is incredible. And I will tell you that he doesn't like to write those tickets. However, people have, they are very risky out there doing a lot of things, and there are certain things that we just do not tolerate. One of them is kids without life jackets. That's on the boats, the infants and things like that. We don't tolerate that. So those are definitely being written. We have many visitors from out of town that Officer Grunwald deals with, and so he's been very present out there this year. We have been adjusting our hours. I was a little concerned ending our last year's budget on June 30th if we were going to be over. I think Mr. Kondek, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we came in just under. It's got to be close, but so we are going forward. I will be on vacation for our August meeting. I didn't realize that when I had made those plans. I thought I'll be back, but I will not be here during our August meeting, and I can have Deputy Chief sit in with me. I don't know if he'll hopefully it'll be in person, but we'll see what happens. But either or, Deputy Chief or Sergeant Morosco can sit in for me. But I will be on Grand Traverse Bay for a week. So
Nice.
Good for you.
other than that, like I said, it was a very explosive tiki night. However, it was limited. We didn't have any issues, and we were well staffed. And I do want to mention one thing though. Our residents really came together for us. We had a huge cooler dropped off full of Gatorade and water. We had Buddy's Pizza brought in. We had 8 pizzas brought in, a bunch of salad. And then we also had a 5-foot sub from Nino's donated by one citizen, Kevin Rentner, the people that actually own the Lakes Area Bait Shop. So they really took care of us. There was a lot of good things dropped off, cards and gifts. And so we appreciate it. And we have a great community, and our officers really appreciated it. Other than that, that's it.
Thank you. Treasurer Kondek.
You're on mute, Mike.
Sorry. Nothing here, Mr. President.
Okay, I know you've been working hard on the new program. So.
Also my diving.
Okay, Mr. Smith.
Yes, I do want to thank Mike and Paige and Tabitha for especially Mike's, the amount of time he's putting forth into this BSNA transfer. It's a lot of extra hours, and I appreciate that. Thank you again to the residents and the police for having a safe holiday. It was a success, even with the formal tiki night, but it appeared everything went well. The Benzine Boardwalk power washing and sealing has been completed. I think there's still a couple boards that might be up that DPW is fully aware of that they're going to go back out and fix, but everything else, it looks nice. We put signage up on it, so I've been seeing residents go down it now. Looks nice. Hopefully it lasts. Just have to keep maintaining it. The bathrooms in the Porta-John are open to the public. We do have signage up for COVID warnings that they're not disinfected, use at your risk, those kind of things, but they're up. I do have a couple sanitizing pump wall mounted stations that are on back order from a company. Hopefully we can get them to install them in and around the playground equipment, just to add an extra layer to have that for residents. I want to remind everyone that the candidate filing applications are at Village Hall. The deadline to run for council is July 21st, so it's coming up. And we've had quite a few being polled. So by 4 p.m., file those with Commerce Township. We have, I think, a couple left, or you can pick them up at Commerce Township. I did apply for the LRIP program through Oakland County, which is the Local Road Improvement Program, to tailor to have a matching amount of money that I found out that can go towards our crack sealing program. So we're going to have hopefully if approved, we'll have an additional about $8,000 from Oakland County to help with our crack sealing and joint program that we have. So we'll see where that goes once the Board of Commissioners, they approve it. So that's a nice addition. And since we won't see you until then, remember to vote on August 4th. You can request your absentee ballot through Commerce Township. Clearly, we know that voting is going to be a lot different this year. So you can, of course, anyone, because of Prop 18.3, anyone can vote. No reason absentee, you can pick it up. So I just want to remind everyone that you do that through Commerce Township. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Council comments. We'll go to Scott. Start out with Mr. Scott.
Well, it's cool out here. How's it down there, guys?
It cooled off a little bit.
Yeah. Thank you, President, for the, I guess, verbal overview. This was a good meeting. I think everything's been pulled together again as compared to what's happened at times in the past. With that said, I hope everybody has time to do what Mr. Smith was just talking about. Get out there and vote, please.
Okay, thank you. Walt?
Yeah. I'd like to thank the chief and the police department for everything you guys do here, and with special thanks to Steve Grunwald for his actions and his adjusted hours on the lake, because I will tell you, and Mark Duff can tell you as well, that it was crazy this past weekend, and it has been for the last couple of weeks. But we really appreciate Steve and everything he does, and he tries to do the best and not just write a ticket. Tries to educate people, and we really appreciate that. We have a lot of new people, it seems, on the lake that don't know the rules, and we also have a lot of people that are dropping boats in. So appreciate that, and that's it for me.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Sienkiewicz.
Yeah, Mike, I'm glad to hear that you were able to pick up on something to offset some of our costs for that crack sealing, because that's really a big benefit to our roads and maintenance. And as far as Steve Grunwald goes, an outstanding officer, as all of them are, John. We're very happy that you hired him and you have him out there. He nailed a neighbor of mine, and he gave him for a life jacket, but he could have probably wrote him up for 5 or 6 more things. The only thing I'm trying to figure out is, I take it that the DNR is not working their booth, because I'll walk down and I see cars just pulling in, dropping off a boat, and the car and the trailer drive away.
They've been down there a lot more lately.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
They have been down there a lot more lately, Ed.
I understand they're usually there in the morning and gone by 1 o'clock.
No, not on the weekends.
Oh, okay. Well, good. But I
Yeah,
think
they've been covered a lot more recently here.
Getting a lot of boats that people that don't live in the community, and everybody wants to use the lakes, and we have a place for that. But we're supposed to be limited to 12 or 13 boats. So. But anyway, keep up the good work. The police department and Steve is definitely an asset.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Mr. Malik.
Oh, are you skipping Mr. Duff?
Well, I'm going to go the other way.
Okay. Well, a few things, Chief. Away from the lake, I was able to witness one of our officers do a justice to a local person right here in my neighborhood. They had a vehicle parked, the door wide open, and the officer drove by, backed up, checked it out, went to the house, And it shows not only an interest in the lake, but in the community by the officers. They know and stay on top of the situations. And as a neighbor and a resident, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you and your officers. Then I'd like to go to Mike Condit. Michael, thank you for all the work you're putting in on the things that are going on. And then Mike Smith, I want to applaud you, not only the ceiling program, but the other programs, trying to see if we can get some reimbursements on other issues. And I compliment you for the work you're putting in. And that is it. Everybody have a safe, hot week.
Okay, Mr. Duff.
Well, stay cool, everybody. And Chief Ellsworth, thank you for what you do and what your officers do. And Officer Grunwald is definitely an essential for our lake. Several times over the weekend, I witnessed some of the stuff that he was dealing with. And again, some of the stuff is just crazy. So.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Couple things for me. Got an email from Chief John this afternoon about Officer Curwall. That was a nice little comment, and very nice that he was recognized by people in the community like that. And I think that speaks for the rest of your officers too, John. So.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
And you guys did a nice job on Tiki Night. It was a very nice night. So, question for Mr. Smith. As far as the voting goes in August 4th for the primary, are we able to vote in person?
Yes, you can. I know
Okay,
that they're
so
just trying to
just
say
like-
for your own safety and benefit, you can vote absentee. You don't have to. have
Right,
a
yeah,
reason.
yeah, okay. I didn't know if, at that normal precincts.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different protocols set up with probably
I
masks
figured.
and gloves. And it's going to be very different.
Okay.
That's it for me. I'm busy.
I think that's it. So,
Motion to adjourn.
motion by Duff, second by Sinkowitz, I believe. All in favor, we'll see. We'll just do a roll call vote one more time.
Malik,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
York,
Yes.
Sinkwitz,
Yes.
Nedro,
Yes.
Duff.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, everybody. We did a great job tonight. Everybody
Great
did,
meeting.
so.
Thanks,
Yep.
President.
Bye.
Fantastic
it.
meeting, everyone. I
Fantastic.
think the batting average just went up, so awesome job.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay, good
Thank you,
night.
Hannah,
Stay
for
safe.
recording.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Thanks. Okay, bye.
Thanks, Council. Have a good one.
Yep.
Just have to let this wind down for a moment here.